There's something sitting quietly in your home right now, something you pass by every day without a second thought. It might be resting near your pantry, tucked behind a kitchen appliance, or forgotten in a corner drawer. But what if I told you that this everyday object, when placed in the wrong spot, could slowly be draining your wealth, disturbing your sleep, and stirring invisible unrest in your home? It's not a broken mirror or a leaky faucet. It's a single bulb of garlic. Most of us think of garlic as just a seasoning, something to throw into a pan or rub onto bread. But for centuries, people have quietly known garlic isn't just food, it's energy. It carries a force so sharp, so grounded that when it's placed intentionally, it can protect, purify, and even attract prosperity. But if it sits neglected, bruised, or in the wrong area, it can act like an open window during a storm, letting in everything you've been trying to keep out. Maybe you've been feeling stuck lately. Bills pile up. Good opportunities vanish just as they appear. Your home feels heavy in a way you can't explain. You work hard, stay hopeful, but still something slips through the cracks. What if the answer isn't about working harder, but about realigning the energy in the space around you? What if wealth is trying to enter, but something as small as a misplaced garlic bulb is quietly turning it away? In this video, I'll show you the 6 most powerful places to use garlic in your home, how to shift the energy, block negativity, and make space for fortune to flow in again. But before we begin, look around. Is there a corner you've forgotten to tend? A doorway you've walked through without noticing the feeling it gives? You might just be one placement away from clearing poverty's shadow and inviting something much better in. 1. Garlic is not just food, it's living energy in your home. We grow up thinking of garlic as something humble, a seasoning, a flavor enhancer. It's something we toss into a pan without a second thought or hang in the pantry beside the onions. But very few people realize that garlic doesn't just sit there, it pulses, it absorbs, it interacts. Garlic, in its raw form, is one of the most energetically charged objects you can keep in your home. It holds strong yang energy, sharp, bright, and piercing. That's why ancient cultures across continents, from Europe to Asia, quietly treated garlic not just as food, but as a form of spiritual armor. And while the world moved on, that wisdom never really left. It simply became quiet, waiting for someone to notice again. If you've ever walked into a room and felt uncomfortable for no reason, like something unseen was off balance, you've already sensed what garlic is designed to correct. That feeling of unease is not random. It's the result of energetic distortion, leftover stress, emotional residue, broken patterns in space. Most of the time we can't name it. We just say, the vibe is weird. Garlic, when fresh and properly placed, clears that weirdness. It doesn't cover it with scent or noise. It burns through it. Like a whisper of sunlight cutting through thick morning fog, garlic clears emotional static and lets the atmosphere breathe again. The problem is, most homes treat garlic like any other item. It sits forgotten. Sometimes it's soft, sprouting, or discolored. Maybe it's been in the kitchen so long no one remembers when it was bought. But what you're storing at that point isn't a protector, it's a sponge full of stale energy. A decaying garlic bulb begins to emit a cold, damp vibration. It doesn't just lose its power, it reverses it. You may not notice right away. But you might feel tired more often, restless. Financial flow becomes inconsistent. Communication at home gets edgier. These aren't coincidences. They're energetic shifts reacting to a symbolic object that has turned from defense to drain. Think about where your garlic is right now. Is it in a crowded drawer, sitting next to a leaky sink? Is it surrounded by clutter, forgotten among old food and expired spices? Every item in your home sends a message. And garlic, more than most, is a broadcaster. It reflects the energy it absorbs. So when it's fresh, firm, white, clean-skinned, it amplifies clarity. But when it's shriveled or blemished, it becomes a quiet echo of neglect. There's something beautifully grounding about fresh garlic. It comes from the soil, it smells alive, and it speaks directly to our senses. When you hold it in your palm, there's a quiet hum beneath the surface, a kind of electric readiness. That's the energy you want working for you, not just in your meals, but in your home's energetic structure. You don't need complicated rituals, just the right placement with the right intention. A single bulb placed with care can shift the atmosphere of a room. But if it's just thrown in a corner, that's like putting a lock on your door but leaving the window open. In the American home, we often focus on what's visible. We repaint walls by matching throw pillows, hang decorative signs that say blessed or gather. But what if the most powerful shift you can make isn't in how your house looks, but in how it feels? Garlic is part of that hidden language of the home, the energy under the furniture, behind the appliances, around the corners we forget to clean. It doesn't demand attention, but when used with care, it transforms. This isn't about superstition, it's about patterns. Everything in your home either lifts you up or pulls you down. Garlic is one of the few objects that, when treated with respect, actively lifts. It absorbs the heavy, chaotic, and invisible. It makes space for peace, but you have to respect its cycle, use it fresh, keep it dry. Don't let it rot in forgotten places. Replace it every 2 to 3 weeks, or sooner if it changes color or texture. And when you do replace it, don't just throw it in the trash. Wrap it gently, as if it has served you. Dispose of it with awareness, through burial or sealed disposal. It's been carrying your home's energy. It deserves to be released, not discarded. Garlic is also a mirror. It shows you how attentive you are to the unseen. If you can't remember the last time you checked the garlic in your kitchen, that's not just forgetfulness. It might be a sign of disconnection from your space. And your space, in turn, disconnects from you. The flow of abundance, luck, harmony, they are all subtle guests. They knock, they wait. They notice whether your home is energetically open or closed. Garlic is one way to leave the door open, not wide, but just enough for light to come in. What you're doing when you place garlic in your home isn't casting a spell. You're setting an intention. You're making a quiet declaration. This space is protected. This space is clear. I'm choosing to live in a field of peace. Garlic listens. And more importantly, it responds. Its presence is gentle but firm. It doesn't shout, it doesn't beg, but it will hold the line for you if you remember to give it your care in return. So the next time you go to cook or clean or reorganize that drawer, pause. Take one fresh bulb in your hand, feel its weight, its strength. Then ask yourself, where in my home could this do more than flavor a meal? Where in my life needs clearing, softening, rebalancing? The garlic already knows. It's just waiting for you to notice. 2. The front door where fortune enters or slips away. The front door is not just a passageway. It is the mouth of your home. It is where energy enters, where the outside world meets your private life, and where everything, from opportunity to conflict, crosses the threshold. What many people don't realize is that this area, this simple doorway you walk through multiple times a day, is one of the most energetically active parts of your home. And it's often the most neglected. Shoes pile up. Delivery boxes linger. Dead plants sit by the steps. We wipe our feet, toss our keys, and rush in without thinking. But in doing so, we forget something vital. If the energy at your door is blocked, cluttered, or contaminated, every blessing that tries to find its way to you will be delayed or turned away entirely. Garlic, when placed properly at the front door, becomes a gatekeeper. Not a decoration, not a superstition. A silent protector. It's a filter, catching what doesn't belong and letting only aligned energy enter. But placement is everything. If you simply toss a bulb near the entrance, it won't do much. Energy, like water, needs guidance. And garlic, like a well-placed stone in a stream, shapes that flow. The way you position it, the materials you use, even the timing, all of these influence how it works. Do it right, and you create a buffer between your sanctuary and the noise of the world. Do it wrong, and you might accidentally amplify chaos instead of calming it. The simplest and most effective method is this. Prepare 5 fresh, unpeeled garlic bulbs, firm, clean, and white. The number 5 symbolizes balance across all elements: earth, fire, water, metal, and wood. It ensures that the energy at your threshold is not just protected, but harmonized. Wrap the bulbs gently in aluminum foil. Not plastic, not paper. Foil reflects. It creates a subtle energetic armor that bounces negative forces back. Inside the foil, sprinkle a bit of coarse sea salt, an ancient purifier that absorbs low-frequency energy and clears spiritual residue. Together, this creates a layered field of protection, with garlic anchoring the core and salt amplifying the cleanse. Place this bundle on a small wooden tray or shallow bowl, never metal, which can interfere with grounding energy. Wood connects directly to earth and helps garlic resonate with the natural rhythm of your home. Now comes the most overlooked but crucial step: timing. Do not do this at night. Do not do this when you're angry or rushed. Choose a morning, ideally on the 1st or 15th day of the lunar month, or simply on a Monday. These times carry strong yang energy, clear, upward-moving, active. Before you place anything, open your front door wide. Let sunlight pour in. Feel it on your skin. Let the space breathe. This simple act resets the energy, clearing away stagnant air and welcoming flow. Then, with calm hands and a clear mind, place the garlic tray just inside your door, slightly to the left as you look in from outside. This isn't random. In many energy systems, the left side of a doorway represents the dragon's side, the path of incoming blessings. It's where good things naturally want to enter. You don't need prayers or incense or dramatic rituals. Just presence, just awareness. This is about setting intention through placement. Once it's down, take one quiet moment to acknowledge it. You're not just placing garlic, you're inviting peace. You're choosing alignment. What happens next is rarely dramatic, but often deeply felt. In the days after, you might notice a subtle shift. The house feels calmer. Conversations flow more easily. There's a soft lightness in the air. Visitors linger a little longer. And perhaps without effort, money starts staying instead of disappearing. This is not magic. This is resonance. You've created a boundary and your home recognizes it. Now here's the part most people miss: maintenance. Protection isn't permanent. Garlic doesn't last forever. It does its work, absorbs what it can, and then needs to be replaced. After 2 to 3 weeks, check your bundle. If the garlic has softened, discolored, or smells sour, it's time. Do not simply toss it in the trash. This garlic has absorbed energy, both yours and from the outside world. Wrap it carefully in paper, thank it silently, and bury it in soil if you can. If not, dispose of it sealed and respectfully. This closes the loop and clears the space for the next cycle. Also, pay attention to the space around the tray. Is the area clean? Is the doormat fresh? Are there old shoes or broken items nearby? These things matter. Garlic works best when it's part of a larger intention, an atmosphere of care. When the entryway is respected, the energy that comes in feels invited, not forced. And that energy carries everything you're trying to cultivate. Peace, abundance, ease, love. If your front door faces a busy street, a sharp corner, or feels exposed in any way, this practice becomes even more essential. Garlic, salt, and wood, together, create a simple yet powerful boundary. They don't block energy, they guide it. They sift out what's harsh and invite in what's gentle. And in a world that constantly demands your attention, that kind of threshold is priceless. So the next time you walk through your front door, notice the shift. Pause before rushing inside. What does this doorway feel like? Is it heavy or light? Does it feel open or tight and restless? Your body knows even if your mind doesn't. And if something feels off, maybe all it needs is one quiet placement, one intentional act to bring the flow back. A fresh bulb of garlic, a pinch of salt, a morning of light, these are not small things. They are signals. To your home, to the world, and to yourself. The front door is not just an entrance, it's a declaration. It says, "This is where I begin." Let it be a place where fortune does not slip away, but steps in and feels welcome to stay. 3. The wealth corner, a forgotten light awaits here. Every home has a quiet corner where energy gathers, not by accident, but by design. In Feng Shui, this place is known as the wealth corner or the prosperity sector. It's not marked by a sign, and most people have no idea it exists. But its influence is real, and you can feel it the moment you start paying attention. This is the space where abundance either pools like sunlight or dries up like a neglected plant. And in most homes, this corner is overlooked, buried under boxes, or lost behind a piece of furniture no one moves anymore. But when it's activated with care, it becomes a living magnet for opportunities, stability, and financial ease. The wealth corner is traditionally located in the southeast area of your home, or of any individual room. You don't need to be an expert to find it. Just stand in the center of your home with a compass or a compass app. Locate the direction between 112 degrees and 157 degrees, that's your southeast. Then slowly walk to that part of your space. Don't rush, look closely. This area often holds clues about your current financial patterns. Is it cluttered? Is the air still? Are there broken items or unopened mail? These are not just visual messes, they are energetic blocks. Money, like energy, needs room to move. If this corner is stagnant, your wealth might be too. Before placing anything here, clean the space thoroughly. Not just a light dusting, this is a reset. Remove anything broken, expired, or no longer useful. Old electronics, cracked decor, dead batteries, forgotten storage bins, all of these hold trapped energy that keeps abundance away. Once the area is clear, open a window nearby or let fresh air in. Energy moves best when it's invited. Even a few minutes of natural light and breeze can completely shift the vibration of a room. You're not just cleaning, you're making space for money to land and feel welcome. Now comes the setup. Choose 5 fresh garlic bulbs, whole, firm, and unpeeled. Garlic in this context is more than symbolic. Its strong yang quality purifies and activates. Arrange the bulbs on a small ceramic or wooden tray in a circle or star-like pattern. Then, in the center, place 3 old Chinese coins tied with red thread. The red energizes. The coins ground. Together with garlic, they create a financial field, one that quietly broadcasts a message of stability and attraction. If you don't have Chinese coins, use 3 clean silver or copper coins, positioned in a triangle with the engraved side facing up. Intent matters more than the exact item. You can go one step further. Write a small note by hand, no typing. Make it personal, present tense, and clear. Not just "I want money," but "my income flows steadily and supports my dreams." Fold the note and tuck it under the tray. This connects your thoughts to the space. Your intention, placed beneath the symbols of wealth, roots the desire into physical reality. It's a small act that echoes far. Color also matters here. This corner loves wood and fire energy. That means green, gold, red, and earth tones. You can line the tray with a red cloth or add a small gold candle, unlit unless used intentionally. Some people place a piece of citrine or yellow quartz here, a crystal known for amplifying wealth frequency. It's not mandatory, but if you feel drawn to it, trust that. The point is not to overload the area, but to curate it, like setting a table for a guest you deeply respect. Timing also plays a role. Mornings are best, especially on the 1st or 10th day of the lunar month, or any day that feels fresh to you. Avoid doing this when you feel rushed, angry, or mentally scattered. Energy holds memory. What you feel while preparing the space gets locked into the items you place. That's why even the most beautiful setup won't work if it's done with resentment or desperation. Approach the act with calm attention, like you're preparing the room for someone you love. Once everything is in place, step back. Don't hover, don't obsess. Let it be. Trust that energy, once aligned, begins to ripple. You might notice small shifts first. A delayed payment arrives, a forgotten check shows up, or your expenses drop unexpectedly. Then come the bigger signs, opportunities, invitations, stability where there used to be stress. The corner doesn't need to be fancy. It needs to be alive, maintained, honored, but don't forget, energy gets stale, dust returns, garlic decays. Every 2 to 3 weeks, refresh the setup. Replace the garlic, wipe the tray. Revisit your written intention. Has it changed? Have you grown since you last wrote it? If so, update it. Your wealth corner should evolve with you. It's not a shrine, it's a conversation. The more you engage, the more responsive it becomes. If you live in a small space and the southeast corner is in a bathroom, laundry, or closet, don't worry. Apply the same principles to the southeast corner of your living room or office instead. Energy maps can adapt. What matters is consistency and care. Even in limited space, wealth responds to attention. A small tray on a shelf, a single bulb in a drawer. These can do more than an untouched statue in a luxury home. The wealth corner is not about superstition. It's about making the invisible visible. It's about remembering that your home isn't just walls and furniture. It's a reflection of your internal state. And like you, it needs reminders that it is worthy of abundance. When you give that space light, love, and a purpose, it gives back. So pause for a moment and ask, what's happening in your wealth corner right now? Does it feel light or heavy? Neglected or loved? Are you inviting money in or making it feel like there's no room to stay? The answers may not come all at once, but start with one garlic bulb, one tray, one clear sentence written from the heart. Then let the energy do the rest. A forgotten corner is just a space waiting for attention. And sometimes all it takes is a single act of care to remind it, and yourself, that fortune still knows your name. 4. Behind the stove, a quiet guardian of the home, fire. The stove is one of the most powerful centers in your home, not because of its size or the meals it creates, but because of what it symbolizes. It is where heat is born, where nourishment is prepared, where the family's energy is fed and sustained. In Feng Shui, the stove is often called the wealth vault of the household. It governs prosperity, stability, and the steady pulse of abundance. But what's just as important as the stove itself is what lies behind it. The space that is often hidden, forgotten, and left to collect dust, grease, and stagnant energy. This space, though rarely seen, quietly holds the emotional and energetic temperature of the home. And when neglected, it can begin to sabotage the very fortune you're trying to build. Think about the last time you looked behind your stove. Not just around it, not under the hood or on the counter, behind it. That tight, often unreachable spot where crumbs, oil splatter, and time all seem to gather. For most people, the answer is months, maybe even years. But energetically, that blind spot doesn't stay neutral. It collects. And in that collection, something happens. Energy that should be flowing, supporting health, income, and emotional balance, starts to stall. It becomes heavy, invisible, and yet deeply felt. You might notice it through small but telling signs. Meals that don't quite satisfy, family members more irritable, money that arrives but seems to disappear just as fast. The connection might not seem obvious. But energy doesn't always shout. It often whispers, and the space behind your stove might be trying to tell you something. This is where garlic comes in, not as a cooking ingredient, but as a quiet guardian. In households across generations, placing garlic behind the stove was a tradition that required no explanation. It just was. Mothers and grandmothers did it, not for flavor, but for balance. Garlic's strong, fiery essence harmonizes with the energy of the stove, both representing warmth, transformation, and protection. But more than that, garlic acts like a purifier. It absorbs the excess. It stabilizes the scattered. It grounds the unseen. And when placed intentionally behind the stove, it helps transform that neglected pocket into a boundary of strength rather than a sinkhole of chaos. Here's how to do it. Choose a fresh, whole garlic bulb, firm, unblemished, and still wrapped in its papery skin. Don't use a garlic clove that's already soft or sprouting. It must be alive in its energy, vibrant and intact. Place it inside a small ceramic or unglazed clay bowl. Avoid plastic or metal, which can either dull or scatter the energy. Before setting it behind the stove, add a layer of coarse sea salt to the bottom of the bowl. Salt is a powerful conductor. It pulls in negative frequencies, emotional residue, and even environmental toxins that might otherwise linger. Then, gently place the garlic bulb on top of the salt. Do not crush it, cut it, or overhandle it. This is not about using the garlic. It's about giving it a role. Once the bowl is prepared, find a discreet but stable space behind your stove. If you can't fit it directly behind due to tight layout, place it nearby. Ideally in a spot that's hidden from daily view but still connected to the stove's energetic zone. The less it's disturbed, the better. This little setup doesn't need to be seen to work. In fact, its quiet presence is part of what makes it so powerful. Like a watchful eye that asks for nothing but guards everything. You might wonder, how can something so small make a difference? But in energy work, small things often hold the most weight. Garlic doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be there, anchoring the kitchen's energy so it stays clean, clear, and calm. And just like a fire that burns more evenly with the right balance of air and wood, your home's fortune begins to stabilize when the stove's energy is protected. Maintenance matters here, too. Because garlic absorbs, it has a life cycle. After 2 to 3 weeks, or sooner in humid environments, check the garlic. If it's softened, discolored, or moldy, it's done its job and must be replaced. Leaving old garlic in place is like asking a tired guard to keep standing after their shift has long ended. Respect the energy exchange. When removing the old bulb, don't just toss it in the trash. Wrap it in paper, thank it mentally, and bury it in soil if possible, or dispose of it in a sealed bag. The act of release closes the energy loop and prepares the space for a fresh cycle of protection. If you want to enhance this setup, add a small stick of cinnamon beside the garlic. Cinnamon carries fire energy, bold, expansive, and activating. It balances the salt's absorbing nature with a boost of warmth and vitality. Together, garlic, salt, and cinnamon create a trio that protects, grounds, and uplifts. It's a quiet force field, one that doesn't look like much, but that shifts the entire energy of the kitchen. This practice is especially important if your kitchen often feels overwhelming. If you dread cooking, feel drained when preparing meals, or notice conflict flaring up more often in that space. The stove, when neglected energetically, can act like an amplifier of stress. But when treated with care, it becomes a hearth, a place where warmth and stability begin, not just for the body, but for the soul of the home. So if you haven't looked behind your stove lately, take that as your invitation, not just to clean, but to restore, to turn a forgotten corner into a point of focus, to replace residue with intention, and to remind the space and yourself that even the unseen deserves attention. Because the truth is, every home has its quiet guardians, and sometimes all they need is a little garlic, a little salt, and a little care to help them do what they've been waiting to do all along. Keep the fire burning steady, and keep the fortune flowing strong. 5. Under the pillow, for peaceful sleep and restored energies. There's something sacred about the hours we sleep. It's the only time each day when we let go of control, let down our guard, and surrender fully to rest. The body softens, the mind loosens its grip, and the invisible parts of us, the emotional, the energetic, come to the surface. Sleep is not just recovery, it's recalibration. It's the reset button that aligns our inner world with the outside one. Which is why the quality of your sleep isn't just a health issue, it's an energetic one. And when something is off, you feel it. You wake in the middle of the night for no reason. You dream of unfinished business. You wake up more tired than when you went to bed. These aren't random disturbances. They're signs that the energy surrounding your sleep is disturbed, and that your bedroom may need more protection than you think. The space around your bed is one of the most vulnerable areas in your home. At night, when you're at your most open and unguarded, any lingering negative energy in the room, stress, arguments, sadness, old grief, can settle in like a fog. And the body, even while asleep, senses it. You toss and turn, you wake in a sweat. You dream of things you'd rather not remember. If you live with others, their stress can sometimes seep into your room, even if the door is closed. If you live alone, loneliness or old energy can amplify in the quiet. Either way, your bedroom becomes more than a place to sleep. It becomes a mirror, one that reflects back what your energy has been carrying. And sometimes that mirror needs a quiet cleanser, something small, humble, and deeply effective. That's where garlic comes in. Placing a bulb of garlic under your pillow may sound strange at first, until you understand what garlic actually does. Garlic doesn't just smell strong, it is strong. Its energy is bold, penetrating, and protective. It's one of the few natural substances that works as a kind of energetic firewall, absorbing low vibrations and acting as a shield between your subconscious and the room around you. When placed near your head, garlic creates a subtle but powerful field that helps keep negative energy from reaching the deeper layers of your sleep. It doesn't sedate you, it safeguards you. Like a gentle night watchman who asks for nothing but guards the threshold while you rest. To do this, you don't need much. Just 1 to 3 garlic cloves, fresh, dry, and whole. Don't use garlic that's been peeled or cut. Its skin is part of its protection. Place the cloves inside your pillowcase or beneath your pillow, preferably wrapped in a thin cloth or paper towel if you're worried about scent. You don't need to smell it for it to work. Its energy is not dependent on your senses. It works quietly in the background, absorbing, filtering, calming. You can also place the garlic in a small breathable pouch and slip it inside the pillowcase. If you're especially sensitive to smell, pair it with a few drops of lavender or orange essential oil on your sheets. These fragrances harmonize with garlic's intensity and create a more balanced sensory environment. This practice is especially helpful if you suffer from insomnia, frequent nightmares, or wake up feeling drained. It's also a beautiful practice for children, whose energetic fields are delicate and often disrupted by overstimulation. For older adults, garlic under the pillow can stabilize sleep patterns that have become fragile with age. And for anyone going through grief, anxiety, or major life change, this method helps protect the energetic body during one of its most open states. But there's more to this than just sleep. When you wake in the morning after sleeping with garlic under your pillow, your energy feels different, clearer, softer, more anchored. You may find your mind quieter, your emotions more balanced, your focus sharper. That's because sleep is when the subconscious gets a chance to heal. And when the energy around you is clean, that healing goes deeper. You're not just getting rest, you're getting restoration. And that restoration has ripple effects. You speak more kindly. You handle stress more gracefully. You attract smoother interactions and better outcomes, not by trying harder, but because your energy is aligned. Garlic works best when used with awareness. So don't just toss it under your pillow and forget it. Before you go to sleep, take a moment. Hold the garlic in your hand. Breathe in and exhale slowly. Mentally set a quiet intention. Tonight, I allow myself to be fully restored. I release what is not mine. I welcome clarity, peace, and protection. Then place the garlic beneath your pillow and let it do its work. This isn't about ritual for the sake of ritual. It's about tuning yourself to the energy of intention and allowing your environment to reflect that. As with all garlic placements, maintenance matters. After 10 to 15 days, or sooner if the garlic softens, discolors, or begins to smell, it's time to replace it. Don't skip this. Old garlic holds the energy it has absorbed. If you leave it in place too long, it stops protecting and starts leaking the very energy it was meant to filter. When replacing, treat the old garlic with respect. Wrap it gently in paper and bury it in soil if possible, or dispose of it in a sealed container. Thank it. Its work is done. There is something profoundly grounding about this practice. In a world that constantly pushes us to do more, be more, move faster, this is the opposite. This is slowing down, listening in, and choosing to care for yourself in the quiet hours when no one else sees. Sleep, after all, is not just for the body, it's for the spirit. And when you protect that time, you protect everything that grows from it. So tonight, before you lay your head down, ask yourself, what kind of energy have I been sleeping in? What emotions linger in this room? What might be whispering to me in the middle of the night? You may not have all the answers yet, but a simple garlic bulb under your pillow might help you hear them more clearly and rest more deeply than you have in a long, long time. 6. Garlic in your pocket, a personal shield for modern chaos. Every day we walk through invisible storms. Energy isn't just something that lives in our homes. It follows us, clings to us, in the office, in the grocery store, at the airport, in hospitals, even in our children's schools. We're constantly exchanging energy with the world around us. Some of it is light and warm, a smile from a stranger, the relief of fresh air after a long day indoors. But a lot of it is crowded public places, digital noise, angry drivers, tense conversations, collective anxiety. We absorb more than we realize. And often we carry that heaviness back home without even knowing we've picked it up. That's why you don't just need to clear your space. You need to protect your energy field as you move through the world. You need a shield. And garlic, yes, humble, ordinary garlic, is one of the oldest and most effective energetic shields we've ever known. There's a reason garlic has shown up in protective rituals around the world. Its strong yang energy doesn't just chase away what's dark, it strengthens what's already good. When carried on your body, garlic acts as a quiet repellent, pushing away negativity, psychic residue, and emotional static that can cling to you in crowded or emotionally charged environments. You don't have to believe in superstition to understand this. You just have to notice how you feel after being in certain places. Ever left a mall or hospital and felt exhausted for no reason? Ever walked into a room and felt tension like a wall of bricks? That's energetic exposure, and garlic helps filter it. Carrying garlic with you is not about drawing attention, it's about subtle protection. You don't need to wear charms, burn incense, or explain yourself to anyone. This practice is discreet, effective, and deeply grounding. Here's how to do it. Take a single fresh garlic clove, small, firm, and completely dry. Wrap it in a piece of red cloth or place it in a small velvet or cotton pouch. Red is not just a pretty color. In energy terms, it represents vitality, life force, and protection. It amplifies garlic's natural properties and helps seal your intention into the object. Tuck the pouch into your pocket, your purse, your wallet, or the inner lining of your jacket, anywhere close to your body. This isn't about luck. It's about energetic hygiene. Just like you wash your hands after touching something dirty, this practice keeps your energetic field clean when you're exposed to heavy or scattered energy throughout the day. It's especially useful if you work in emotionally intense environments. Healthcare, education, customer service, law enforcement, counseling, or if you're simply highly sensitive to your surroundings. Empaths, caregivers, parents, and anyone who often absorbs the moods of others can benefit tremendously from this small act of self-care. It's also invaluable when you're traveling, especially long distance or international. Airports and bus stations are energetic crossroads. People are rushing, stressed, afraid, hopeful, grieving, all of it mixing in the same space. Carrying garlic on your body during travel acts as a buffer. It keeps you grounded in your own frequency. Likewise, if you must attend a funeral, hospital visit, court date, or even a high-stakes business meeting, this little pouch offers calm and strength when your system might otherwise feel overloaded. Some people ask, what if it smells? But when the garlic is dry and wrapped properly, the scent is minimal or non-existent. And besides, this is not about perfume, it's about protection. The people who sense your clarity, your peace, your lack of overwhelm, they won't know why, but they'll feel it. Garlic helps you stay in your center. It helps you stay yourself. Every 2 to 3 weeks, check your garlic. If it becomes soft, moldy, or starts to break apart, it's time to replace it. This is not something to keep forever. Garlic absorbs, that's its job. And when it's full, it needs to be released. Dispose of the old clove respectfully. Wrap it in paper and bury it in clean soil if possible, or place it in a sealed container before discarding. Thank it mentally. It has carried part of your energetic load. That deserves acknowledgement. Want to go a step further? You can place an extra clove of garlic in your wallet, tucked near your cash or credit cards. Wrap it in a small piece of paper or moisture-absorbing pouch. It's not for eating, it's for sealing. Money, like energy, can leak. Unseen expenses, spontaneous spending, or I don't know where it all went. Moments are often signs of loose energetic boundaries. Garlic in the wallet acts like a quiet financial anchor. It reminds your subconscious and your spending patterns that you are a container, not a sieve. As always, intention matters. Don't carry garlic as a chore or a superstition. Do it as a quiet declaration. I protect my peace. I walk through the world grounded. I carry only what serves me. Say that internally when you tuck the pouch into your pocket. Say it again if you're about to walk into a stressful environment. Over time, you'll start to feel the difference. Not because the world gets easier, but because you move through it cleaner, stronger, less tangled in what doesn't belong to you. In this fast-paced, hyper-connected, overstimulated world, we've forgotten the art of subtle defense. We armor our phones with cases. We protect our data with passwords. But who protects your spirit when it walks through noise, conflict, and emotional weather? Garlic does, quietly, gently, without need for attention or approval. It doesn't make you aggressive. It doesn't block good things. It just strengthens the membrane between you and what's not yours to carry. So tomorrow, when you head out, don't just grab your keys and your bag. Add one more thing, a tiny clove of garlic wrapped with care, not for flavor, for peace, for power, for remembering that your energy matters, and that sometimes the most powerful shield is the one no one else can see. The most powerful changes in life often begin in silence, not with declarations or grand gestures, but with a pause, a breath, a shift in awareness so subtle that only you can feel it, but so real that the entire rhythm of your life begins to change. That's what garlic does, not as a superstition, not as a magic fix, but as a quiet invitation to pay attention, to care, to remember that the energy surrounding you is not random. It responds to you, it reflects you. A single bulb of garlic placed with intention becomes more than a spice. It becomes a message. It says, I am awake, I am ready, I am clearing space for what truly belongs. In a world that teaches us to chase, garlic teaches us to center. In the noise of demands, it offers stillness. And in the places we've forgotten to look, behind the stove, under the pillow, near the front door, it helps us remember what it feels like to live in a home that breathes with us, not against us. Maybe that's what true abundance really is. Not more things, not louder success, but peace, a clean, grounded space, a night of sleep that restores instead of drains, a front door that feels like a threshold, not a barrier. A corner that whispers, you're safe now, welcome home. So now take a moment, look around, not with urgency but with tenderness. What in your space has been waiting for you to notice it? What small shift could ripple into something bigger? You don't need to change everything, just one bulb, one gesture of care, one decision to live a little more aligned. And when you place that garlic, wherever it may be, listen. The silence that follows, that's your home exhaling. That's the energy clearing. That's your life making space for light to return. Now ask yourself gently, what part of my life has been whispering and is finally ready to be heard?